All right, another week around the trash fire. Your host Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Well, after that 100th episode, it's good to go back to normal.
Indeed.
And of course, this week was pretty jam packed.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not, also have some cool hobby stuff to talk about. But yeah, even on the Warhammer front, there's a lot, which is good.
Of course. And I figured we'd start with our first news topic, which is not the Sunday preview, but the Lord of the Rings live stream event that happened. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch it. Did you?
Oh, well, heck no. And I'm glad. I mean, okay, preface. These are cool reveals, and when we talk about them, I will praise them. But I am so glad I didn't stay up for this because as cool as these are, I would be so mad if I had to watch a stream and these were the reveals.
Oh yeah. Well, let's jump into the first one, shall we? The battle for Oscaloth. How do you say that?
For us, yeah, Osgiliath.
Osgiliath. So we got ourselves a new two-player starters box here.
Yes, yes, we do. Interesting because no mention of a new edition, just a new starter set.
I didn't think it was gonna be a new edition.
Right.
I thought, and I was kind of right. It was just gonna be a revamp of old models,
Yep.
which we
Makes
got.
sense. I mean, Lord of the Rings as a game is, it's
It's like 20 years old. Yeah, I know.
yeah. Well, and the game's in a good place. I don't think the game needs any crazy rules updates. And I mean, this kind of model, maybe in the future when 40K or AOS don't need edition swaps every 3 seconds, maybe we could just have some kind of new box set without necessarily changing the rules, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be nice, but we all know that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, so there we go. Um, see, I'm so out of the loop. I know none of it doesn't look like going over these. They revamped any of the base infantry models.
Yeah, only the heroes are new, and there are a bunch of characters that appear. It's funny because they said this is going to be a Two Towers reveal, but this battle technically happens in Return of the King.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was
there's an
thinking.
Osgiliath, yeah, there's an Osgiliath scene in Two Towers, but it's just a Nazgul showing up and scaring people, and there's no orcs.
Yeah, it's like, isn't this Return of the King?
Yeah, it's absolutely Return of the King. Now the new models are cool. New heroes are nice.
No, they got their
Uh,
they got their character rocks. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's how you know they're heroes because they have their technical character rocks and character columns.
yep.
Although the villain Gothmog has no tactical rock. He has a tactical ward, but not a tactical rock.
Yeah, but he's an orc, so who cares?
Right. Although a point of interest, which actually has me excited, not for the box, but when I get it separately, is the terrain, the Osgiliath terrain. Now, this is terrain I really like. I actually made really good use of the older Osgiliath terrain with Will, and they're very, and these are like the Primaris versions, I jokingly say.
Mm.
And I like them. They're very straightforward, not too much crazy detail. I mean, there's two colors. There's the door and there's the wall, right? The ruin. And it's cool. It's not too fancy. And that's a problem I have with GW terrain recently is they're good quality, but they're just way too detailed. There's just so much stuff in it. I mean, yeah, they're great for dioramas, but sometimes if I just want to get a simple tabletop quality gaming board, I don't want to paint a million skulls or wall panels or lights or anything. I just want, or in AOS, I don't want also more to paint more skulls or detail runes or something. I just want a ruined wall and a ruined wall, ruined building, and this is it. I'm definitely considering picking this up when it comes out separately because this is just good fantasy and even sci-fi terrain, kind of
Yeah,
like an old ruin kind of thing.
it's definitely good for Warcry.
Oh yeah,
Definitely see that in there. But yeah, overall, a new two-player starter set, which took place in Return of the King, not Two Towers, but whatever. Little details, I guess, right?
yeah. Also, one quick thing I want to mention is this is a new trend actually that started with 40K ninth, where I can imagine this being at the same price point as the current Lord of the Rings starter set, but instead of because essentially the stars are equal, but in the other Lord of the Rings one, you get a little bit more orcs. Actually, no, you get the same amount of orcs, but you get the Naz. Actually, maybe you do get more orcs, and you get the Nazgul. Well, for the good guys, you get the Army of the Dead and some cavalry. But it seems that here they have replaced all of that with terrain. So I can see this trend of having less miniatures, but including terrain in the sets, which, has its pros and cons. Some people like terrain, some people prefer more minis. I personally prefer more minis in a starter set, but I get the idea of like, well, we're trying to promote the game, so we should have terrain in there.
True. True. The terrain doesn't. I don't know. Again, it's been a very long time since I played Lord of the Rings. I don't remember terrain playing too much of a big deal in the
It
game.
can be like most war games, but Lord of the Rings is one of those rare games where the game still functions pretty well without terrain. If you don't have a lot of terrain, the game still works.
Yep, that's what I recall.
Yep, and it's still the case having played a little bit of the new edition, latest edition for Lord of the Rings.
Well, moving on to the next thing they revealed. I gotta fix my screen here. Uh, the battle host boxes. So this is
Yes.
basically the combat patrols
Yeah,
for
I
the Lord
can
of the
imagine
Rings.
they're cheaper than combat patrol though, because you get less than a combat patrol.
True. I
But
don't know
they're
if
great.
that's good or bad because again, haven't played Lord of the Rings in forever.
I think looking at these, they're pretty good. Are you get a lot of good stuff. I'm looking at the mortar one is great. You got a hero, you get some orcs, and you get some cavalry. That's awesome. Now it does suffer from miniature pricing, where what I mean by that is, or sorry, miniatures focused pricing. What I mean by that is, if you look at the Mordor versus the Minas Tirith box, you pretty much get the same amount of models, but the Gondor one probably costs more or has more points in it just because humans are more expensive than orcs. So, but from what I know, this is still a good starting army for like this. This makes me wish I didn't have any Lord of the Rings just to kind of experience that new army vibe because they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool kits.
You can still get that new army by John. I'm sure you don't have all these armies.
Oh, I do.
Oh, well then never mind.
Yeah, Will was clearing his garage and he gave me a crap ton of Lord of the Rings. And oh yeah, I have like a billion Haradrim and a billion orcs now, and Gondor. I don't have. Well, maybe I do have Rohan. So a box of just Lord of the Rings stuff.
You'll have to check your garage and see.
Yeah, but these are great. This is excellent, and I am a big proponent of starter set. And we talked last time with War Machine how there's a lack of an easy starter set there, and this is great. Kudos GW for making this.
Well, I mean, when you compare this to the War Machine, right? It's nice that War Machine has, the focus army boxes to have 2,000 points or whatever the equivalent is to whatever that War Machine box was, right?
Right.
But Lord of the Rings also has a two-player starter set box.
Yes, that's very true. It does.
So, in essence, it's Lord of the Rings does a better job. and
Yes.
enticing people because you get that.
Yep.
Because most, I mean, I don't know what your experience was with Warhammer, but I mean, I got into Warhammer with a friend by buying the 2-player starter set. That's how I got into the hobby.
Yeah.
Obviously, my friend didn't stick with it, but I did, and
Yeah.
they got a 50-50 chance of keeping one of us, and they got one. So,
Right. Yep. There you go. And did its job.
and then these are just to build on your 2-player starter set or whatever you feel like expanding into next kind of deal.
Yep. And depending on the price point, like if this is 100, less than 120, if this is less than 100, these are amazing.
I would hope it'd be less than 100.
I can imagine them being a little bit over 100. But even then, it's you're in the game, right? You have essentially a full army.
Yes.
So
Well, moving on to the next Middle Earth thing. We got the Elven Heroes.
yes, got Glorfindel and
They are
guys, Rumil and Orifin.
HD elves for Lord of the Rings.
Yep. Unfortunately, all of these are Forge World on this page. Sad face.
That is very sad. I didn't read that part.
Yeah, the elves here are Forge World.
Well, that
Well,
means I guess you hate them because they have spears.
oh my gosh, yes. Gotta be bendy. Oh yeah, I was airbrushing my Dawn Breakers this weekend, and of course the spears were bendy. Oh god, gotta deal with this crap now.
Yeah. Well, these are just brand new models, huh? The brand
Yes,
new
these are
heroes.
all brand new, yeah, brand new here. I think Glorfindel has had a model, but this is an updated one.
Which is good. Because I think, Lord of the Rings being 20 years old could definitely use some glow up.
Yeah, even just a little bit of love, but reminder that the game still exists and is still getting a little bit of support.
Well, I got a whole dedicated date to it.
Yep.
Well, moving on to the last one. Get to go to old Elrond, Master of Rivendell. And this is a definite glow up. I'm pretty sure he already had a model, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, this is a new Elrond. I think this is the first plastic Elrond, and he is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, he looks good. Then we got the banner,
Yeah,
banner
plastic.
bearer.
Interesting that it comes in one box, but I mean, Lord of the Rings does that where it has multiple, more than just a hero in one box.
You always got to have the horse option and the foot option. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, overall, what would you say? What would you rate this Lord of the Rings event, even though you didn't watch it?
It's just I feel like Lord of the Rings is a solid 7 or 8. I scored that because if you're into Lord of the Rings already, you can only kind of care about the elf stuff, and only if you play elves. I mean, if you're a new player trying to get people into it, then the battle hosts are great, and the new starter set is great. But as a current player, I mean, yeah, I guess there's new models for the Osgiliath stuff, but I mean, these guys had resin models before, so if you're into Gondor, I guess if you're starting Gondor, they're good. But ultimately it's a good reveal, but it's very limited in terms of the armies. I mean, look at the elves, right? That's just elves. You have two separate articles for just elves. I mean, it's different armies of elves, but they're still just all elves. I
Well,
mean, if there were
GW has a real, elf bias.
very true. You would know.
I would know. AOS would know.
AOS would definitely know.
They got like what 6 different elves.
3 army book elves and 3 more Cities of Sigmar elves. And there's still the dark elves coming.
Yeah. So we all know GW's bias to elves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably rate it a bit lower than you. I'd say it'd be like a 5. Average. That's how I
Yeah,
scale it. 5 to me is an average. So, because I mean, even when they announced a whole day, I was expecting, like I said last week, a glow up of all the like all the well, I guess all the models would be too unrealistic, but of my core models, slowly rolling those out.
yeah.
Cause I mean the game's 20 years old. It could use some updates on the models. I don't know if that's like a legal thing or I don't see why they couldn't just update the models. They updated Elrond here, so
Good. Yep.
um I feel like if they want to make some more money, I know, GW, a greedy company. I think they should start updating the foot soldiers. At least the popular ones, right? Like Urukai, orcs, and some basic humans. Just because I assume those are the most popular armies. At least they were when I got into the game.
Right.
But it was a bit disappointing and underwhelming, to say the least.
I mean, all of this could have been one article
True.
instead of an hour-long reveal. I mean, it's good for the game, but it's definitely not exciting.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, you could say that about all their GW reveals. It could all just be in one article.
Well, I think some of them are substantial enough, but I think for this, like again, if you look at the Elrond thing, it's just Elrond, right? And another model.
Right.
And, it's not like, oh, here's the 40K thing, and it's a bunch of things, or here's the AOS thing, or here's the Warcry thing. It's a whole new box set.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think the elf reveals are definitely pulled this down because they're just like, here's some models, right?
Yeah, it's definitely lacking. So I would agree. Glad glad I wasn't. Well, I mean, I was awake, given that I was working, but I'm glad I didn't watch it.
And not worth your time for sure to
Yes,
watch the thing.
I agree. Well, I figured we get that out of the way, and now we can go to our regular scheduled program of Sunday preview, which it's just gonna be a bunch of 30K news,
Yeah.
apparently.
Oh my gosh, the hype is real. I was about to buy some RPG books and some Gundams. I'm like, I'll hold off for Sunday preview, and I'm like, yes, I am. This is where I want to spend my hobby money on.
Not gonna lie, I thought a lot of this stuff had already come out, but
They've revealed it, but now it's
yeah, they revealed it. But I'm like, man, I feel like we talked about this like last month. But yeah, here we are. We got our Sakaran battle tank. Did it?
buying two of those. This is excellent. Interesting though. Also, I have the prices, so this is going to be $80, which is pricey, but it's a big tank. I have resin ones of these. I do feel that it suffers from too much plastic options. I heard there's like, was it like 12 pintle mounted options? Like, so the gun that goes in the turret hatch. There's like 12 options for it. I'm like, you don't need that. I mean, yeah, you could take that many, but that's a lot for one tank.
Oh, John, you need all the options. Think of all
No,
the
I
magnets you can
do
use.
not need all the options at all. Or sorry, yeah, 9 pintle mounted options. I don't need that on a Sikaran. Much rather have that been turret options because it only comes with the autocannon turret, and there's I believe 4 Sikaran turret variants. There's the autocannon, there's the missiles, which are my personal favorite. There's the plasma cannons, and there's the Gatling gun.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's a Sikaran, it's great.
Oh, there you go. Secure Battle Tank, $80.
Very, very classic 30k. Yep.
Spartan Assault Tank.
Yep.
How many of these are you picking up, John?
I hate this unit. Not this model. I hate this unit. Zone Zero. I have one. It's gonna be in. It's in. It's in. It's plastic, and I figure out a way to convert it to one of the super heavies. But yeah, I hate Spartans.
What's the price point on this one?
112. So not bad for this giant beast of a vehicle.
How much is a Line Raider?
Land Raider is like 90.
Okay. This is what, slightly bigger than a Line Raider or same size?
It's noticeably bigger. I mean, it carries twice as many people as a Land Raider, which is why I hate it. Just I'm not a fan of putting. I'm not a fan of super Death Stars where you have this 400-point transport, and it's a transport, so you better put things in it, and it's 400 points, so you better put a lot of things in it. And some people like shoving, 10 Terminators and a Both Carry and a Prime Mark inside this thing, and good for you guys. This is not my thing. But if you want a Spartan and you didn't get the Age of Darkness box set, here's your chance to pick one up.
$112. Here we go. All right, you got the Contemptor Dreadnought.
Yes. So this is a great price, $60, and it's the fully posable Contemptor with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that it? Six pairs of, well, not pairs, 6, 7, 8. A lot of guns, at least 8 guns and 2 fists / chain fists.
Oh, that's
Plus
good.
your back turret or your helical targeting array. Yeah, this is an awesome kit. Every 30k player needs one. They're also OP, which helps.
All
But
40k players will get this.
40k players also get this because they're also really good at 40k. Not in Chaos Marines yet though, because they didn't FAQ them to get the right keywords.
True.
But yeah, this is awesome. I am definitely picking one up because I actually don't have any for my Blood Angels. I have the ones with the jetpacks, but I don't have the regular ones. So
I'll probably pick one up or two for my Black Templars.
there you go.
We'll see though. We'll see. We got that $60. I assume these are just sprues of the Contemptor Dread.
Yep. Lots of weapons.
Leviathan Siege Dreadnought.
Now, do I want this is $80 like the other one. Do I want? I already have 2. Do I want a third one?
I don't know, John. Do you?
Because if I get one, I'm probably gonna get the range sprue and do double auto cannons, and then because I'm playing Blood Angels, I could replace the chest weapons with more assault cannons. So that's like 20 rending shots.
You sound disgusting, John.
Should I do it? Maybe I should do it. I don't have a plastic one. Maybe that's my excuse.
That's the excuse.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should get one. See, it's 6 per gun, and then the chest guns. Hit on 2s. 12 of them are rendings on 5s, and 8 of them are rending 6.
It's gross.
It's pretty gross. I'll do it.
Anyways, moving on from Leviathan before I have to hear any more discussing combos. We got the Cataphractii Terminator Squad.
$85. 10 Terminators.
Pretty good. I think it's like $60 for 5.
Yeah.
Scarab Occult Terminators, so
Yeah.
not bad.
Not bad. I mean, if you like Terminators, these are great. And if you play 30k, you better like Terminators. Because Terminators they're not they're pretty good. They're not super strong, but they're definitely iconic. So same for the Tartarus, $85 for 10.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how good they are. Moving on, we got the Tartaros.
Yep.
I don't like these ones.
Yeah, these ones, so Cataphractii have a 4-up invul but can't sweep. These guys have a 5-up invul but can sweep, and I think they get +1 inches of movement.
I don't know. Design wise, I prefer the Cataphractii.
Prop Inval,
No, design wise.
design wise.
I don't. There's something off about these Terminators. I don't know what it is.
They don't scream Terminator. They scream more like heavily armored power armor. In a good way,
The
but
prototypes to the aggressors.
yeah,
And looking at a Terminator with a pistol. What is that? What?
I think that's a Volkite charger. He just
Ah,
looks like he's holding it as a pistol. I don't know if I'll pick this up because I'm pretty sure I have at least 5 of these in my closet somewhere. So
are these the same price? $80.
$85. Yep, for 10.
Okay. Then we got the Legion Praetors. These are from the starter set.
Yep, I think they're about 33 each.
I'm
And if you don't
surprised.
have one, it's good. Good models.
They've got the Iron Warrior upgrades.
Yes, the Iron Ore upgrades. Don't know the price.
And we got Age of Darkness Armigers.
Yeah, this is interesting. Reboxing the armigers with what's it called? 30K transfers.
Hmm.
Hmm. So I bought some arms for these from Mechanicum, debating if I should get these now for the bodies. I don't know. Maybe not. I do like the Forge World. There's a Forge World specific design. They have different armor plates, and those kind of look cooler. But we'll see.
Shall see. Moving on. Let's see. We got the Mechanicum book
Yes,
coming.
yeah, definitely buying this because I need this to play the game. So
I'm surprised it's
pretty
coming out
excited though.
this soon.
Pretty excited.
There's like no teasers or anything. Just like here we are.
Yeah, they did mention this. They had an article like a month ago with the table of contents.
Yeah,
So
I
this is
remember that.
it's gonna have knights and titans. So finally, we're gonna get official titan rules for 30K before, which is good because it's LVO is gonna have a big 30K battle. So it's good to know that we're gonna get titan rules before then. But yeah, this is cool. This is interesting because this is now we're gonna see what the game's gonna look like with more than just Space Marines, because right now the meta for 30K and all the talk is this is what's good, what's not, what's good tactics. It's all in the context of Space Marines versus Space Marines, and that's gonna change with Mechanicum because
Mechanicum.
there's a lot of weapons that are there's not that good right now, but if you're AP4 and there's finally models with a 4-up save, could be really good.
Could be. But moving on from 30K, we got the Underworlds team,
I'm like,
the Witch Hunters.
so cool. Also picking this up because regular human hype is there. So to figure out how to use them in Warcry. But these are so cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at the next one when we get there. But yeah, these are nice looking models. Nice Bloodborne aesthetic, I guess.
Yes. Yes, yes. It goes to show that you absolutely can make AOS Grimdark.
Of course.
It's not just World of Warcraft.
Haven't heard that one, but makes sense. Blood Bowl, Skip, Lord of the Rings. We already talked about all this, but all the elf stuff is
Out
coming out.
very quickly.
White Dwarf coming out. I guess Necrons are getting exclusive Crusade rules. Haven't really done any. Oop, freaking spit all the way down. I haven't really done. I've tried Crusade out once. What about you?
I have yet to try just because we have a hard time trying to every time we play 40K we're like learning our armies, and by the time we're just the timing doesn't work. Like last time we were playing 40K, we're getting into it, and then it's not AOS, 30K gets announced, and it's like, well, sorry, 40K, you're staying in the corner for now because heresy is heresy.
Yeah. I tried it out once with my friends. I guess we did like one game and then we immediately lost interest.
It's
Because
it's widely
my group's not very narrative focused.
That's fair. it is widely praised though for people who like Crusade. People who like Crusade really like it, and it's yeah. If you're less competitive leading and more just casual or narrative leading, it's awesome to see your dudes level up, especially if you have a weekly group and you want to see your army kind of progress. So you're
Yeah.
not just playing chess over and over again. Essentially, it's great. So if you play Crusade, it's probably a good pickup. But if you're more on the competitive side, Crusade just it's just not for you. But not everything has to be for everyone. Sometimes things are good for specific people.
Well, that's the one thing you can applaud GW for is they have a little bit for everyone.
Yes, actually, that is something that GW does really well compared to other war games. It does cater to all sorts of gamer. Because if you look at the other games I play, which are mainly War Machine and Legion, they're competitive. There is kind of, I mean, it's funny because like as a rich and narrative setting Star Wars is, there's kind of no narrative scene for Legion. I mean, one of the big web community websites slash podcasts, they sell their own campaign system, and I heard it's great, but it's third party, right?
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of, I mean, there's narrative missions that they release, but they release like one or two a year. There's no like narrative campaign packet or anything or missions. It's mostly competitive, and the game is a very fun competitive game, but yeah, if you're into the narrative stuff, not a lot of that for Legion, and War Machine's non-existent. That's one of the things that game prides itself in, is it's hyper competitive. But the fact that 40K or GW for AOS and 30K have a narrative scene that's pushed, not in your face, but it's pushed enough that it gets all supported. I think that's awesome. That shows you that your game is successful, that it has multiple ways of playing it that are popular.
Yeah. It's nice. Nice to have. It's still being supported.
Yep.
They've never given up. Even every codex still has Crusade items.
Yes, it does. The Demon Codex is gonna come out later, and it's gonna have Crusade stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Moving on from the White Dwarf though. We got Black Library, we got War Boss, Collector's Edition. This is not the this is not the Gazgul book, right? This is
It's
completely different.
not, yes,
Okay.
different book.
Different book. Okay. That's what I thought. So this is coming out. Not don't know too much about it. I don't know. You probably have not read this, I assume.
I have not. Although the author is a good author, so
Mike Brooks.
Mike Brooks. I think he wrote some other Xeno stuff, and it was praised. So
So here we are. All right. So we got that. We got Outgunned, which I assumed was an Aeronautica book.
yeah, this is interesting. If you read the premise, it's about, essentially there's a filmmaker trying to make a movie about this pilot, and it's not much what it seems, kind of thing. So I am actually curious about this.
It's gonna be one of those funny books.
Yeah, or really grim dark ones where reality of war is terrible, and they really double down on that. Or it could be a funny thing where it's like, haha, orcs.
Maybe. Let's see. We got Dark Imperium Godblight coming to paperback, I guess. I want to talk about this one. I'm currently almost done. I'd say about 80% through this book right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just started up because, I take the bus into work. So I need something to listen to.
Right.
I must say, the descriptions they give for Nurgle, it's so disgusting. I wish I could just skip through it. Because it is just vile. The detail they go into about Nurgle and his creatures and followers. But yeah, right now I'm enjoying it. I didn't think I'd like Reboot, but this book, it's kind of swaying me a little bit. The Papa Smurf is pretty interesting character.
Should read No Fear.
No,
Then
no
you'll
fear.
really want to Ultramarines.
Maybe I'll pick that one up later. But yeah, I'm about. Gilliman and Mortarion have just met
Oh, okay.
on the battlefield. That's where I am right now. So
Glad to hear that it's a solid read or listen to.
yes, I am a child. I like to be read to. But yeah, it's a good book so far. Looking forward to the actual ending. Uh, so moving on from that, we got the Wraithbone Phoenix, which cause Eldar caught my interest here. I kind of want to know what the hell a Wraithbone Phoenix is. Is it a Phoenix Lord that's of the Wraithbone? What the hell is it? So this one caught my attention. I don't know if you know anything about this book at all.
Apparently, it's a follow up to an audio drama. So, I mean, I haven't listened to the audio drama. I have read Warhammer Crime though, and the one I read was very good. But it is from an author I like, Chris Rate,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was one of those books where, or Warhammer books, very rare Warhammer book where if it wasn't Warhammer and you didn't tell me it was Warhammer, the book would essentially not change at all,
Mm-hmm.
which was a good thing. Here and there they mention like, oh, joining the guard, or the great rift is in the sky, or it's there or something, right? And there's actually a cool twist where because the main character is a cop, and the stress of the work, he ends up meeting this lady, and you think he's having an affair with his wife, but it turns out he's going to like a cult meeting. And it's implied to be a gene stealer cult, and like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's very subtle, and they don't even say gene stealer. They just kind of give you this imagery, and you're like, oh, if you know Warhammer, you're like, okay, that's a gene stealer cult. But it was very subtle, and I really like that about it. And hopefully, I mean, Wraithbone Phoenix is kind of in your nose, but hopefully that has that vibe, because I think that vibe was a strength of that book, where it didn't feel like Warhammer,
Mm-hmm.
but it had that underlying feeling, like, or sorry, the Warhammer feeling wasn't overt, it was very subtle, and that was good.
All right. Well, we'll see. I might pick it up. So moving on from that, we got Fabius Bio book coming to paperback and digital. It's an omnibus. My mistake. Catch up on the everyone's favorite mad scientist.
Yeah, I heard really good things about this trilogy. I mean, I can see myself reading this in the if sometime in the future. I just don't really like Fabius Smile as like, he's one of those characters where, like, he's a good character. It's just I'm just not a fan of him. He's just not my guy.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, I've heard really good things about his novels. So
Well, there you go. You can pick it up digitally or get the big omnibus paperback. Udash, Magister Martyr. I don't know. What is this being released in now?
I think I don't know. I feel we've seen this multiple times before.
This seems to be here every week. So
Yeah,
it looks like it's
I
just
think
being put in paperback.
yeah,
It doesn't look like it's being translated into another language
right. Not
this
translated.
time.
Yes,
But
some other random language.
yeah, this book is back. I'm
Yep.
pretty
And
sure
also
we've given our thoughts on it many times.
Yep.
Moving on to Warhammer Plus, Hammer Bolter finally coming back. We're getting Age of Sigmar.
Actually, I'm very curious about this one because I've been eyeing the Dark Oath Warband for Warcry,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe watching this will push me into because I'm a sucker for narrative stories featuring the models that inspire me to make an army or a warband. So this seems interesting,
Yeah,
and it's
well,
also kind of a fun premise where it's the Chaos Marauders, quote unquote, trying to escape Sigmar's crusades. So it would be cool to see kind of like a humanizing view on these typically bad guys, and kind of show us that AOS has poster boys, but they're not the good guys in the way that most, like Gondor's the good guys, right? So
It's not black and white.
exactly.
Oh, there we go. And then Warhammer Volt's giving us the Tempest, Military Tempest Codex. Interesting. I think we're gonna get codexes in
Yes.
there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool they're putting the lore stuff. I mean, that's great. Those are always the best part of codexes is the lore.
Yeah.
I would buy books of just codex lore. you know, actually, that's something I wish War Machine would do with the new edition launch is release a book of lore because that definitely inspires the hobby. If you are familiar with the faction you're working on and playing.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That is the Sunday preview. It's quite hefty, the one. But we gotta move on. And just quickly talk about this. Warcry, obviously, we said when we talked about Order.
Yep, Chaos Warbands.
Chaos Warbands are out, the Undead are out, and the Destruction Warbands
Yep,
are out.
yep.
So
All for
now,
free.
sorry,
All for free.
all for free. So now I can feel like I can actually go play a game with my my Chaos Warbands.
Right. Well, not yet because you need the rules.
Well, yes, but I mean, you know, I've got these updated cards and stuff that I can
Right.
play with, and the updated abilities.
Right.
So that'll be nice because I'm slowly getting back into the Warcry scene.
Yeah, I do want to get back into Warcry as well. I was looking at the undead rules and getting pretty excited about my undead warband that I built but I've yet to play.
Yeah, no, I stick with the what are they called? The OG, the models made for the game,
Right.
because I have more fun with that. Because
Totally fair.
playing my elves, my deepkin, I felt like I was cheating. I take my eel rider here, and then I just take
There you
this
go.
objective and fly off the board.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. So just wanted to quickly mention that these are back. Everyone, all of them are out. Now we just need the book that comes out this week, right?
Yes. Yes.
Go. Moving on to Heresy Thursday. A little controversy with these ones, from what I heard.
Very controversial.
You got the Space Wolf upgrade pack, and yeah, Chad. I wonder what you can see. What could be the problem with these?
I think the top knot on the bear head looks kind of not very well sculpted. Just kidding. The wolf faces are terrible.
Yeah, if if
Now,
only that was the meme, right?
right. Are they well done wolf faces? I mean, yeah, they're pretty quality. Like, if you want wolf helmets, these are great wolf helmets. The problem is most Space Wolf 30K players don't want wolf helmets. I mean, maybe as for your sergeants or your HQs having this, all right, sprinkle it here and there, okay, but a whole squad with this, oh gosh, I just kind of feel that in 30K, especially the novels, maybe not. I actually haven't read Space Wolf novels, just secondhand information, but Space Wolves have more of a Viking vibe than a wolf vibe. I feel like in 40K they push more into the wolf stuff with the wolf claws and the wolf riders and the wolf swords. But if you look at their 30K stuff, you just look at the rules, which is what I'm familiar with. It's much more Viking centered rather than wolfy.
Yeah, well, I found this interesting because it's like, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's never been anything to this extent, right? For basic warriors,
Never been what?
like a dog helmet. There's always been like dog pelts or wolf pelts on them and stuff like that,
Yeah,
but there's never been like a helmet for like a special character or anything like that.
this exists. There was a Space Wolf upgrade with a character helmet that was essentially a wolf head. but I'm trying to find it now. But because someone posted that when this was posted, but not for a squad. That there's a 30k unit with wolf skulls for a head for a helmet, and that looks cool. But this just being wolves is very weird.
Very awkward. I agree.
Yeah,
Definitely wouldn't wanna. I think like what you said for sergeant, maybe. Whole squad, yeah, no.
yeah. The Space Wolves upgrade pack at the GW website has a wolf helmet for for a special character, but not a squad. Squad is weird.
Yeah, well, now they can know that they're a good boy, just like the article suggests.
Yes, now you know. Gosh, I can't believe they even put that meme of like, oh, now your Space Wolves can be good boys. Like, come on, like, yeah. I mean, I sound very graybeardy, but definitely missing the point of Space Wolves in Heresy, which again is the more Viking theme and
The Viking aesthetic, not
not the wolf.
the wolf aesthetic.
It's
Yeah,
like dark angels don't even have that many angel motifs, right? They don't have wings on their backs. And yeah, they have like the winged helmets. Or if you look at something like um trying to think of a legion like salamanders, there's no lizard helmets that they have. Or trying to think of legions that evoke this kind of Raven Guard. They don't have Raven. I mean, they have the beakies, but it's not a bird, right? It's a beaky. It's the beaky helmet, not a bird skull or a bird face.
right.
Like this is just way too overt, and there is no subtlety to it, which I think is the weakness. And very few people. I mean, this was definitely poorly received among the 30k community.
That's what I heard. I heard it was not well liked.
Yep.
Oh, and there we go. So that's what we're getting. Moving on, Kill Team. You get to see what's inside that two-player box set.
Oh yeah, definitely grabbing this. This is awesome.
So it's definitely looking like a Kill Team Arena.
Yep, with 3D terrain.
Yeah. No more third dimension here. It's all on the second dimension. Hide behind walls, hide behind crates and stuff. Now I can't remember. We didn't see all these models before, right?
No, we just saw, I think, the guy with the shield, the unit leader, and the one of the shotgun guys. And
Yeah.
I don't even remember which Kroot models were revealed.
Yeah, we're looking at the what are they called? The Imperial Navy.
Yeah, these guys are awesome. This is proper sci-fi footmen and women.
It's interesting design. I like that Riot guy.
Yeah,
I enjoy him. It looks nice. It looks good.
I do hope that there's an option to put helmets on everyone because I do want that kind of void hardened feel. I mean, I understand the sergeant's holding her helmet, but I think for like the guy with the sergeant with a bare helmet, not a fan of that. The medic is pushing it with a half open helm, but that's just me being picky. I mean, held swaps are easy as well, so. But yeah, this is great. I am definitely picking this setup because again, I am a fan of 2D kill team.
I'll think about it. I don't think it'd be like a day went by for me. And then we got the new Kroot here as well.
Do not care about these guys, but I'm glad they exist.
One day, Kroot players. One day your crew will be updated.
That's a whole army.
But yeah, there they are. All the Kroot. But that's not what we're really here for. We're here for the terrain.
Yes.
And I look forward to it.
Yeah, I like it. Interesting how it looks very, how do I say this? If you look at the way they built this board, it's just two boxes.
Mm-hmm.
The the arena boards and the Necromunda 2D boards look way more maze-like. This seems boxy, but I don't know. I mean, if the game, I'm sure there's scattered terrain because if you look at the main picture at top, there's a lot of scattered terrain.
Right.
So, I mean, ultimately, that's just how you choose to put your terrain, right? So it's not necessarily you have a thing where you have to set it up like this. But overall, I like it. Although this is a good example of what I was talking about earlier of way too freaking detailed. So much stuff on the walls.
What are
Like,
you
my
talking
gosh,
about? You don't want to
no,
paint all those skulls and
no,
the door and the different tubes.
heck no.
Well, yep. So we get that. We get the terrain. We get the rule books. Get the whatchamacallits. So yeah, a full box, and this is gonna be what, $230.
Probably,
Just like the Warcry box.
yeah, especially because that comes with a rule book. So, I mean, the rule book does push the price point up. But yeah, this is great. I like this. Another good two-player box to get into to kill team
Yep.
with
And
two
that's
cool
always the draw of Kill Team and Warcry is so little models to get into.
Yep.
Moving on from that, Necromunda, the Great Rift. So we're getting a narrative expansion book.
This is very interesting because this is a narrative book that is continuing the story of Necromunda, which we haven't really seen before. Necromunda, the books have just been settings of like here is the world or the hive or the more information to set your campaigns in, but there was no kind of central narrative that drove the story. But this is the first time this is happening for Necromunda. Well, at least for the new edition. I can't speak for the old edition because I didn't play it too much.
Hmm. That's
So
interesting.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of cool. And yeah, apparently there's special rules for one of the daughters of the ruler of Necromunda. That's really interesting.
Oh, we're getting 12 unique scenarios for Ashways, Sector, and Zone Martaris. So that'll be covering a
Right.
lot of different scenarios.
Yeah, it says looks like we're getting rules. This is where we're gonna get the faction specific vehicle rules for Goliath and Escher.
Yep. So yeah, we're getting a whole new narrative book for Necromunda. It'll be interesting to see where this story goes with that.
Yeah.
And to go moving on from that, we also have uh what is it called? Apocrypha Necromunda, the lost
Yeah.
chapters.
Just kind of like the 30K stuff.
Yeah. Well, I just found it interesting because the article said psychic ogrins. And I was like, say no more. I want to know more about the psychic ogrins. Because, you know, besides the orcs, you gotta usually have some intelligence to be a psyker. Otherwise, you just kind of kill yourself. And ogrins are known to be very dumb. So
Yes.
I want to know how that works. So I'll probably be taking a deeper look into this and
Yeah.
downloading it later and having a good read.
I mean, it's great because it's free.
Exactly. And that's what I like. I like free. Free is always nice.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah. There you go. And that's something, no new miniatures for Necromunda, but that's okay. They've had like a new miniature reveal for the last 3 weeks. So, new rules and new stories for free is always nice. Well, not the rules part, but new stories is nice. So moving on from that, uh, do you know what today is, John?
It is Father's Day in Asian cultures because August 8th sounds like dad in Chinese. Fun fact.
Well, there you go. I hope people learned something new today. But no, according to GW, it is Corn Day because it is 8/8.
Yes.
So to celebrate that, they released a bunch of corn themed news, And we're starting with the Warhammer Underworlds here, and we got our first look at a blood priest is I think is what they call it by.
Let's see. Oh, the Underworlds guy.
Yes, of the Hexbane
Really
Hunters.
interesting because the Slaughter Priest is the leader, but they didn't show the Slaughter Priest. They showed one of his minions, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. At first, when I saw this, because I didn't read the article, I thought this was gonna be a Flames of Scion guy.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You could include him. You know, it's a guy on fire, right?
True, fits
I
the
I do,
bill.
yeah, I do like it when I like that kind of creativity with Warcry and Kill Team where you use these underworld models as members of your warband. Like this is perfect for your scions. The guy is a chaos worshipper and is on fire. Perfect. I mean, even has the skull motif that the scions have.
Yeah,
So
but
this is cool.
I am looking forward to seeing the rest of this because Warcry always has the best looking models.
And Underworld.
Majority of the times. Did I say Warcry? I meant yes. I meant Underworlds. Underworlds has the best looking models because they only have to focus on like four, 3 to 4, 5 models.
Yep.
So far, they're starting off strong. And I see that I made a mistake here because got to talk about the Codex Demons.
It's okay. It's Khorne related, tangentially.
Tangentially, yeah. So we got ourselves a good old bloodletter here. Going up a strength, going up an attack. You figured they'd be getting a little bit more. But they got something else. They got this thing called DSV now, which is the Daemons Save. So basically, what this is they're gonna have 2 different save values instead of a normal, 5-up invul save. They'll
Mhm.
have a 5-up for the bloodletter. They'll have a 5-up invul save if against shooting, and a 4-up invul save in combat. And then just like the pink horrors will have a 6-up invul save in melee, and the a 3-up against shooting. So, as John stated in the past, it's just gonna be more rules for you to learn.
Yeah, because they're not invul saves, they're demon saves. So they're not affected by AP like invul saves, but they're also not invul saves because they're not affected by things that affect invul saves. So railguns ignoring them, or or psychic powers that strip invul saves. These are not invul saves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool. It definitely makes it more unique instead of everyone being just like every demon that's not Zinch having a 5-up invul save.
Right.
Now it's playing to their strengths. But yeah, man, that's just more things to learn.
Yep.
But yeah, we're getting that. Demon or not? We're not getting that. Demons are getting this.
Yes. I mean, thankfully it's a faction wide thing, so it's easy to remember. But yes, it's just more rules.
Yes. And we went on to the Khorne Day Codex. We got some more Khorne related stuff. Fleshhounds. From what I hear, rules wise, Fleshhounds are gonna be uh very popular as they are gonna be denying psychic powers a lot.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, they didn't mention that here, but as you can see, 5-up, 4-up, +2 to their movement, +1 to their strength, +1 to their attack. So these guys are going to be a lot faster, hit a bit harder, and I mean, we don't know how much damage they do with their jaws, but possibly a minimum of 2 damage if you charge with
Sure.
them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so we got that going on, and then we got what is this thing called? Lord of Decapitations? No,
For
sorry,
the Skull Taker. Crystal
Skull
Care.
Taker. Yes, there we go. He's getting all his new rules coming in as well. I think I saw somewhere where they renamed some of the units.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like not all of them got renamed, but looking at see if I can find it. What was that one called? That one chariot that Khorne has?
Oh, the
Was it like
Blood
the Hell
Throne?
Cannon or something like that?
The Hell Cannon and the Blood Throne.
Yeah, it's getting renamed to
Oh, interesting.
Rendmaster on Blood
Rendmaster.
Throne.
Interesting. Rendmaster. What a
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. There was some also stuff leaked out like heralds. Give reroll to reroll ones to wound for core units now instead of giving units +1 strength. It's interesting stuff that's has been leaked so far, but all I know is that the Nurglings got nerfed, and I'm happy for that.
There you go.
Hate Nurgling.
All I know is they still haven't released Demon rules for 30K, and come on, JW. Where's my Demon rules?
One day.
One day.
What I'm
But
surprised, especially since it's Corn Day, they didn't show off any new bloodletters. So rip the dream.
I
Bloodletters are
know
still gonna look ugly.
the dream is still waiting.
Still
One day,
waiting.
not today.
Not
Again.
today. All right, moving on from that, we got more 30k. We got the World Eaters
Oh my gosh, this is
helmets. What were you saying there?
just interesting that it's not. I saw this. I'm like, is it Thursday? No, it's not Thursday. Oh, it's their corn thing. I was like, lost my mind for a second. Like, I'm so used to these coming out on Thursdays. But on the flip side, they're not wasting a Thursday for this, which is great.
True. Thursday will hopefully have something more interesting and not just a another one of these things.
Yeah.
But I think Heresy Thursday will probably be focusing more on the Mechanicum.
Oh, that would be awesome. Please need Mechanicum stuff. Plastic Mechanicum. That
Just
would be great.
just because, their book's coming out this week for pre-order.
Right.
So that would be my prediction. Because I mean, how many more legions are left?
Salamanders, Raven Guard. Raven Guard wants to be so funny if it's just beakies. Salamanders, Raven Guard, Ultramarines, Blood Angels. That's 4. Alpha Legion, Word Bearers. That's 6.
Dang. All right. I thought we've
Is there-
gone through a lot more than
I
that.
know, right? Are we halfway? Death Guard, Thousand Suns. That's 8. I think.
Do
Yeah,
they
I think
really
we're.
need to do Thousand Suns though?
No, not yet. Not yet. Iron Hands. I don't know if I said that already. It's like 9. So halfway. We're halfway there.
Okay. Wow. I thought we were through a lot more than that, but okay. There we go. So Corn getting it. What are your thoughts?
I mean the helmets are nice. I actually prefer the old 40K Forge World Corn helmets. They look more menacing,
Mm-hmm.
but those have trim, and these don't have trim, which is great. I mean, I'm eventually gonna do World Eaters because of Angron when they release the Despoiler Squad in plastic, and I could see myself picking this up to make them look more World Eaters like. So this is great. I do like how the unhelmeted head has butcher's nails on it, very iconic for World Eaters. And I do like the shoulder pads. There's less detail in it, especially in the icon compared to the older ones, but there's no trim, which is great. So overall, solid upgrade pack.
Solid upgrade pack. All right then. And there's this one more thing they decided to show for Khorne Day, and that is Travis was here. He'd be happy. A new Khorne Berzerker.
This is so cool. I am so happy.
Yes, they're
So many good things about this model.
finally getting updated.
Yep.
I mean, we knew it was coming, but goddamn,
Yep.
does it look nice?
It's also very simple, especially if you compare it to Death Guard with its all the mutations, or even the Thousand Suns with all the trim. Now, I'm not saying those are unfluffy. I think those are great models that represent their legions and their chaos gods well. But I love the simplicity of this. Like if you look at his torso, it's very 30K. It's very here's the cables, here's the vent. You're good to go. The helmet, it has the chaos trims, but it's simple. Not a lot of crazy stuff on. I mean, the shoulder pads could be very, very trim heavy and detail heavy, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just it's
Oh,
a really cool model. I really like it. I am definitely picking these up for Black Legion, maybe a squad, and then picking more up for 30K for my World Leaders hypothetical World Leaders project.
there you go. Well, I mean, you would know more since you read the lore. But I mean, Korn doesn't really mutate his followers, right?
He doesn't, yeah, not in the way that Nurgle does. And Thousand Sons of All and Zeech has always been into the ritualistic armor, so that's why they're very detailed. Well, this guy not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have put more skulls on him, but they didn't, and I think that was a good choice. I
And
do hope that the squad has all chain axes because you got to have all chain axes.
of course, the fact this guy has a plasma gun fails as a world eater.
I like, yeah. I've yet to meet someone who takes plasma guns on their Khorne Berzerkers. I'm sure someone does, but I
I'm sure
haven't.
someone does as well. But yeah, there we go. That is all the news. It was jam packed.
Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, it was. Can we jump into our hobby rant section here?
Yeah. Well, so you go first, Matt.
Okay, sure. So, in terms of gaming, was my gaming was canceled due to host potentially having COVID, so we had to couldn't do any gaming this week, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But I did play some more Warcry with my other group, and definitely it's still getting over it. But now that these new abilities came out and new cards came out, well, I'll probably test those out this week as well to see how that plays out. In terms of hobbying, I didn't paint my Warcry. I instead painted some Shadows of Brimstone models because I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm ready to paint this much detail this week.
Fair.
So sat down, painted some lava monsters. Made one guy apparently look too much like pizza. So, that hurt my feelings. But yeah, other than that, I just painted this simple stuff because I'm like, this takes me like 5 minutes. I can paint 10 models, no problem in an hour. And it felt great. Felt great to finally just get something done.
Right.
And then in terms of anything else, I am looking at some Star Wars Legion stuff and
Ooh.
thinking of picking up some more models.
All right. Some Empire.
Oh, of course. I'm looking at the Dewback Rider right
Ooh.
now. And then of course when that one unit comes out, what do they call it? The Death Troopers?
Dark Troopers.
Dark Troopers.
Those are super cool.
When those come out, I'm definitely gonna be adding that to my list. But I don't know. Yeah. Would you have any other suggestions on what I should pick up? I guess Shore Troopers is.
Dark Troopers are probably the best first pick after a core set because you get two troops choices. You get the Shores, which are really good, and you get the Mortar.
Mhm.
So I think that's an excellent pick. if you're gonna pick something up. And it's not, and they're a really good unit. They're not just like oh, it's a troop choice that exists to die. They can do some damage. They throw black dice. They have the gun that has critical one, and they got
Yeah.
the mortar. Mortar does good suppression and does a good amount of damage if you get aim tokens to it.
Yeah, so I'm looking into that, and I'll probably finish up my Star Wars Legion
Yeah,
this week. What little Star Wars Legion I have. I was also thinking about picking up Boba Fett.
he's cool.
The the old one, not the Mandalorian one.
The young one.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we should get some Legion games. I got my rebels.
Anytime, man. What about you? What have you been up to? How's the
So
War Machine going?
so before I get to that, because some interesting news there. So I have work. I was taking my brother to the airport yesterday, and I had to go to my parents' house early just so could don't have to rush. And I was like, I'd have nothing to do, so I brought some models to build. I built my Chaos Marine kill team. So I built 10 Chaos Marines, and I'm kind of excited to paint them. I think I it's been a while since I painted a crap ton of trim, so I think after I finish some Blood Angels, I think I'm 1 unit away from 3,000 points. And after I finish that, I think I'm gonna try to paint this kill team. And I realistically only need to paint 6 models for a full kill team, but maybe I'll paint 7 so I have one option, maybe 8, 2 options. But yeah, worked on that, base coated some more 30K, built some another heavy support squad. So I'm gonna base coat this and then base coat their guns separately.
Hmm.
So no gaming though. My gaming group has been busy with other stuff. Literally everyone had somewhere to be on the weekend, so no 30K games. Oh my gosh, yeah, everyone, like people were going out of town or coming back. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Everyone was just really busy. So hopefully this week can get some games in. And for War Machine, so actually interesting news I forgot to announce because it wasn't really news, more of a sneaky thing. But the release date for those starter sets are October 28th.
October 28th, huh?
That's a long time from now. And I really do like that GW only really announces things for that they only say they're going to be on sale soon when it's like 2 or 3 weeks out. They don't open pre-orders 3 months in advance, and I've said that before, and I'm gonna say it again. The hype has definitely mellowed out after seeing the release date because the one thing I'm most excited for with War Machine isn't necessarily the rules. I'm sure the rules will be fine and fun and good, but it's the new models, and that's a long time. That's 2 months, almost 3 months, because it's the end of the month.
Yeah, but I mean, October is gonna come by really fast.
That's true.
I mean, we're already in August.
Right, we're already in August, so it's gonna be there soon. It's just wow, that's a while. I'm used to the riding the hype train and going ham kind of thing.
Hmm.
However, on the flip side, so Privateer Press actually sent me one of the new models, the new Signar Warjack. And I didn't even do anything special. I just kind of complained on their Facebook group so many times about getting a 2-player starter set, and they sent me one. No, um, I think what happened was they looked at people in their Facebook group that do engagement, and I did post a lot of fully painted games on there, and I would ask some questions, do some comments, talk about the new edition, and I ordered no, I didn't order something. I submitted a ticket on their web store for a missing bit when I bought a model, so they have my shipping address, and I think they were just looking at people who did that or bought from the web store and then sent them the new models as kind of a promotional thing. So I got the new Signar Striker Warjack, and it's super cool. They send me magnets, and the magnets slide on very easily. The groove is very interestingly designed, and just put the magnet in there. And it's a great model. I mean, the detail is solid. It's 3D printed. It's not as good as GW because very few things are. but this is definitely a really nice 3D printed resin model, and it's definitely keeping the hype up for the new edition. And I cannot wait to paint this. Now, me and Will did pick up these mini preview sets from Gen Con, the one where it's like Warcaster and two Warjacks. So hopefully that comes in soon, and I'll be able to try some battle box games of Mark IV
Hmm.
with the new models. And yeah, this is awesome. It's definitely hype, although it's very the pose is quite specific, and but what I mean by that is, if there's a relaxed pose that robots have, which is just legs shoulder width apart, facing forward, no twists, arms relaxed, and warjacks have that pose, which I think helps if you have a lot of them because it's a very natural, neutral pose. But this guy has a very specific pose where he's kind of twisting and his head is looking at a direction opposite his body. So I think having two of these will be really obvious that it's a clone skull, even if the weapons are
Different.
different. Yeah, but and that I think that's my only complaint about this model is it's not it's there is no posability. But in War Machine, that's it's the hobby isn't really what the game's about. It's the game, right? And the aesthetic. So I mean, again, I'm glad. Thank you to Private Press if you're listening. For this model, I will still complain that you need a two-player starter set, but I will be nice about it. But yeah, this is again fanning the flames of the hype, which is great.
So does it mean you're gonna start Signar now? Now that you already have one Warjack?
I actually was committed to doing Signar. I mean, because the three choices are Khador, Signar, and Orgoth. And Will really likes Orgoth, and everyone else in the group wants to do Khador, including yourself as Khador. And I mean, I
Oh,
have Signar, and and they're cool. So I'm gladly, no regrets, gonna play them in the new edition. And this is it. The magnets still blow my mind that it comes with magnets, and because that was always my biggest issue with magnetizing models. I had to drill the model, find the right magnet, and put the magnet in, but it's pre-drilled, and the right magnets come with the model. And yeah, it's great. Very impressed.
fine. You know what? I'll start the circle. That that's what they're called, right?
Circle. Oh, that's the druid guys.
Yeah, I'll be circle. There we go. Then someone else could be Kador.
Oh, I already got people playing Khador.
I know.
it's okay. It's okay. And circle isn't destroyed in the lore, so very good chance that they're getting new stuff in the new edition.
Yeah, it's hard to destroy. It's hard to destroy hippies.
Yes, it is hard to destroy hippies.
Yeah. Uh, I just want to use that one model with all the rocks
Oh,
around him.
Bradley, he's super cool.
He is such a cool model. I bought him, I built him, and then I never painted him. I put him in my little case for him, and I'm like, I'll paint you, and then I never did.
One day.
Hey, today's that day. Well,
Yeah,
the day that Mark IV comes out will be the
there
day.
there we go. October something when when Circle gets rules.
Are they getting rules? Is it gonna
Yeah,
be like a big compendium?
yeah. I think for the first year they're gonna really lean into that Legends thing, and most people, I imagine, our group for sure is gonna be fine playing Legends. I mean, no one has expressed interest in playing in the tournaments that I've talked to, at least from our group.
No Prime gamers.
No Prime, no Amazon Prime gamers. But so I can imagine, those rules will be very usable for a while. And every faction is getting it, by December 2023, every model is going to get rules. And when the game launches, every faction is going to get some rules. Not all the models are getting rules, but some of the models for every faction are getting rules. So every faction will be playable at launch.
Mhm.
Just maybe not the models you want. So hopefully the models you want are getting rules.
Well, I think for Circle, the only models I have are the two-player box set from second edition,
Right.
and the guy who throws rocks. That's
Well,
all I have.
I definitely hope they get rules then. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, I mean, the wolves I assume would get rules, no problem, and then yeah, that's those are probably the only ones who would get rules.
Yeah, usually the iconic stuff like Man of War are confirmed to be getting rules because they're pretty iconic. But stuff like Cossite Woodsman for Kador probably not getting anything anytime soon because they're not really a faction staple in the same way Men of War are, or the Circle Wolf, the Werewolf Skinwalkers are.
Right.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
oh, October, I guess is what I have to wait for.
there we go.
I'll have to look at the what are they called? Circle?
A Circle Ouroboros. I mean, the War Machine secondhand market is quite amazing, so I'm sure you could find some good stuff for cheap.
Yeah, I just gotta remember what the units are. I know with my guy who's like really into those stone giants.
Yeah,
So I guess that's what I need. But yeah, there we go. Very cool. Oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna actually get back into War Machine.
I
It's
know,
weird.
right? A new edition does that to you.
They do that. But I think we can call it there, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, well I'd like to thank everyone who made it this far. And you know what? We'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.